Driving down another busy street, I see this fig tree. Look at how it's hanging over, getting swatted by the cars passing by. I'm gonna go ahead and take a couple of cuttings. I see there's some figs on here. I'm gonna take a couple of cuttings and propagate them out and see what happens. All right, so this is the one what I'm taking. You see there's little figs on it. I don't see anything ripe, but I'm gonna come back and take a look and see what kind of figs they have on here. All right, here we go. Out running a couple errands, I come home with another trunk full of fig cuttings. I gotta learn to stay home. Anyways, you saw the photos, you saw the video. These are growing on a busy street. There are some literally getting whacked by cars when they come by, so I grabbed a couple of those because you can see how it's been trying to bud out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and strip the leaves off, take these out back, put them in a bucket, and figure out what I'm gonna do with them. Be back. Okay, really, this is why I can't go out. Because anytime I go out someplace, I find more figs. So, can't really tell, but look at the color of these. Oh, babies, they kind of look a little tiger stripe-ish. Which I hope they're not, because I just bought a nice big tree. So anyways, here's my cuttings. Like I said, I'm gonna just go ahead and, knock all the leaves off of it. And we're going to cut them up and propagate them just like the rest of these. I found this on the corner of two busy streets. Okay, before these fall off, I want to take a close look at these. To me, that's got tiger stripe written all over it. So I think that this was definitely a Panache. Just went and bought a Panache tree today. And I've gotten many, many more rooting, but I just want to guarantee my success with the Panache. But I should go maybe exchange for like a Cadota or something. Anyways, this is what I've got on my latest venture. I'm gonna go ahead and see what we can do to propagate these. Stay tuned. Okay, here's a view of the cuttings. As you can see, lots of structure, lots of buds growing. This is a wild bush that never got watered and literally got knocked by passing cars. All right, let's see what we can cut these up and what we can do with them. Here's a look of the 18 cuttings that I got off of that Panache Tiger. There's that one that kept getting hit by every car that drove by. That one I'm gonna root in water because I think that one's gonna go nuts. I've got this big long one that I'm gonna try and root as a big long one. You can see there's your look at the tiger stripe figs. That's what I'm hoping these are. And this is what I've got. A couple of long ones to play with. Everything has at least 5 nodes. Some have more. So for right now, the short ones are gonna go into a hot box. Even though it's overcast, they're still gonna go in the hot box. Get some humidity building up in there. And a couple of these are just gonna sit in water here on the windowsill or under the bench that we're gonna play with. But we'll come back to these. A little update before we get started. I went back to the tree to see if I could take a better look at some of the figs that are on there. Because I'm kind of trying to see if these are tigers. It's really hard to tell. Those are 2 I've washed up with some soap and water, and there's one that's right on the branch. So I went back to get some more branches, like I said. And then I found the mother plant, which I assume has the same fig on it, right across the street, growing through some fence and around a palm tree. And I took a couple of cuttings, and I'm sure the gardeners are gonna be happy because it sticks out into the sidewalk. So I took a couple of cuttings, which we're gonna root separately, but I just wanted to give you a little update on that. That'll be a follow-up. Okay, here are some of my other ones from that bleached out, sun-bleached tree that I got. These are sitting in a box. Normally it's sweating more than this, but since there is no sun today, we're not getting any humidity. So all of these are just gonna sit in this box. They're all marked with a P, so I remember which ones they are. See right there, look at that. I'm pretty sure that's a little tiger stripe guy. Maybe I'll keep these 2 guys separate. Okay, so these will sit in this box until I figure out how I want to plant them. whether they're going to go into clear solo cups or just regular nursery pots like I'm always doing. Here's another box of ones. There's a couple of real skinny ones. I'm not sure if they're going to be viable, so we'll see what's going to happen with those. I'm going to leave them in here, let them swell up a little bit. Okay, once again, I am back by the loquat tree. I'm going to plant one of these real long cuttings in, just like Ross, the fig dude, says to do. I guess a couple other people are talking about this. The old Italian man way of planting a tree. So what I've done is I've driven this stake in quite far. Let's take a look. That's going to give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nodes under the ground. All right, so we'll go ahead and just, this has been prepped, just scraped up a little bit. It's been sitting here drying for a little while with some rooting hormone. And this is just going to be slipped into the hole and driven all the way down. I'm going to cover it with soil, and there it's going to sit, protected by the big tree, protected by everything else. And we're going to see. I've labeled it Ross Boa is what I'm nicknaming this one until I figure out what it really truly is, but that just gives me where it was planted. As you can see by the figs, it looks like we have a Panache tiger stripes. But this is the one I'm going to use to prove it out. These are 2 other ones that I've put in here just a couple of days ago. And there's the rest of the group. Okay, today is November 29th, I think it was. Yeah, and so I just found these tigers yesterday, and that's what I'm pretty sure they are because judging by the fruit. So I've done a couple of experiments. Everybody talks about humidity and how important humidity is. I'm here in Southern California. We got really no humidity. We got a little bit today. Today's in the 70s, and like I said, it's still, here we are, it's still fall. So here's this hot box that I done, put some cuttings in. I'm going to open these up and take measurements. Let me take temperatures. So let's see, the first one. It's holding a steady 86 degrees. And this is the one where I have them in a pot. So it's staying so nice and warm in here. I've thrown a couple other sticks in there, and I'm going to try and get those to wake up as well. So I'm thinking of doing the same thing in here. So this I only put out about a half hour ago or something in the sun. Let's see, these things, it's tough to open. All right, now I take a temperature on this. Look at it, I'm 88 degrees. Hopefully the camera sees that. And those were just one of these cups here that I just put 5 of those in here. And here the soil is 60-something degrees. So my idea is I'm going to put 5 cuttings. I've got my container set up like this, holes in the bottom, soil, and an X lid. And there'll be a little tiny bit of moisture and a little tiny bit of water at the bottom here. And I'm going to just keep the lid on it, put it in the sun, and I'm going to allow those to root in this tub, and we're going to see how good it does. Okay, in these cups there's going to be a combination of perlite and vermiculite. And right now I haven't added any water. I've got some water in the bottom here, and I'm just going to let them seep. So I'm going to do a couple with perlite and a couple with soil in the temperature under my workbench. So we're going to see how these do in extreme heat and humidity outside, and we're going to see how these do in underneath my workbench with maybe a grow light, maybe not. I'm really sure. Okay. So let's take a look at the cuttings now. Okay, these cuttings have been sitting outdoors all day, and like I said, it's in the 70s. And these are the cuttings I'm going to use. So you can see in this warm box we have at least 90 degrees in here. So I'm pretty sure that these are going to wake up with ease. So what I want to do is I want to do a mix of 3 tops, 3 bottoms. Well, it's going to be more than that. Maybe 3 tops and 2 bottoms in here. We're going to go 2 tops with soil, 2 tops with perlite. Okay, now that I've got all my cuttings prepared, simple as inserting them, into my cups. I know people say that it's a waste to put rooting hormone on it because it's just going to rub right off when I push it through, but that doesn't really happen, people. Okay, cuttings are all stuck. Now I get out the water bottle. I'm just going to give these a good spritz. I don't have a bottle of water with me, so I'm going to go ahead and just add some water in there because my holes are on the bottom, so it's going to drink up what it needs. Seal the lid nicely, and it could go. I'm going to label it. I'm going to put a label on here, and I'm going to just set it aside, and we're going to forget about it for a while. It's going to go sit out in the sun with the other hot box. Okay, as far as what we got going on over here, it's the same thing. These are prepared. I'm going to just go ahead and stick them through as far down as I can, then lift them up just a little bit so I know that they're off the bottom. And these, like I said, will sit under the bench. The last 4 here, I've got a couple other ones that I want to add to what's going on. All right, that's it for now. Okay, now these have been just kind of sitting out at outside temperatures of about 65 degrees. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Still got a little bit of sun ahead of us. I'm gonna go ahead and move these inside. I'm gonna figure out what I want to plant into these other 4 spots. Let's take a look at the hot box and see what the temperature is. Okay, here it is. I ran to the store, ran a couple of errands. Let's see if we get the temperature. All right, well, you can see it's still going to stay pretty warm here. Considering it's a cold day, it's 65 degrees here in Southern California. I can still get 75 degrees in the hot box. All right, so we're going to end this one here. We're going to keep an eye on these. This is that roadside find. It was growing around a crepe myrtle tree. Kind of figured out. I know the seeds are going to come by and cut it down, so I got some cuttings. We're going to go ahead and propagate and see what's going on with these. All right, so hope you guys like this one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to bell. Go along with me on this journey as I locate figs, propagate figs, and work on my own cars in my retirement. Thanks for watching. Gearhead Gardener here on Play TV.